happening to me? Tout de suite, ça a été le texte qui m'a complètement séduit et ça m'est tombé dessus.
Tu vas pas bouleverser ta vie pour une femme qui a pas d'avenir.
The Academy whittles down their selection. The Berlinale celebrates a bountiful crop of European cinema and May to December love stories on French screens. That's all coming up in today's film show. Critic Lisa Nesselson joins us to take us through that selection. Hi, Lisa. Now, after heated speculation, we know which films are eligible for Oscars at the upcoming 94th Academy Awards. Leading the charge, 12 nominations for The Power of the Dog, including Best Picture, Best Director for Jane Campion, and Best Actor for Benedict Cumberbatch. So let's get a little reminder of the film.
Well, Brother Phil?
Open up the gate, let him out.
You sure he's not ready?
Go on, let him out.
He's just a man, Peter. Only another man.
So, Lisa, what do you make of the Best Picture category here?
Well, there are 9,487 eligible Academy voters, and apparently a record number voted for the nominations from 82 countries. Now, in the olden days, fairly or unfairly, there were only 5 candidates for Best Picture. Now there are 10. But if I ruled the voting, I wouldn't find it all that difficult to take 5 titles off the list, such as the 2 that racked up the most nominations: Jane Campion's The Power of the Dog and Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Why? Well, Dune left me completely indifferent, and The Power of the Dog is adequate and lovely to look at and has a very good punchline, but is wildly overrated. The films that absolutely could qualify for Best in front of Picture are Kenneth Branagh's Belfast, Japanese-language mini-masterwork Drive My Car, King Richard, in which Will Smith excels as father and coach to the Williams sisters of tennis fame, Steven Spielberg's gloriously entertaining West Side Story, and with mild reservations, Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza, which is fine but isn't going to stick with me the way his previous films have. One of the reasons I'm opposed to giving Oscars to The Power of the Dog is that this will continue to reinforce the charade that Netflix is a benevolent firm that just wants to make movies with good directors. They do want to do that. They also hope to eliminate the possibility of going out to the movies.
Okay, well, damning with faint praise, certainly adequate for Power of the Dog. Now, to an event that is certainly taking place in bricks and mortar screening rooms. That's the 72nd Berlinale International Film Festival is underway. Tell us more about that.
Well, Venice is the oldest of the big 3 European festivals, and Cannes will turn 75 this coming May. Now, Cannes is a closed trade show for professionals, but Berlin makes many of its showings available to ordinary film buffs.
That's true.
Berlin's European film market is absolutely crucial to the funding and the buying and selling of films completed and yet to be made. The outside world may hear about red carpet premieres, and that's definitely part of the event, but they're not its beating heart. The films themselves are.
And there are 18 films in the official competition this year, and quite a lot of French features or co-productions. So French output is certainly appreciated with their German neighbours. Anything you're particularly eager to see?
Oh, I'm very, very curious about the opening film, Peter van Kant, by France's prolific François Ozon. Now, it's a sex reversal spin on Rainier Werner Fassbinder's 1972 classic, The Bitter Tears of Petra van Kant, which had an all-female cast, with a man as the central protagonist instead of a woman. An iconoclastic and unpredictable Quentin Dupieux has a new, sure-to-be outrageous comedy, almost outrageous as my pronunciation, called Incredible But True, with promising high-profile cast about a couple who move into a house with a tunnel in the basement that makes time run backwards. Italian director Dario Argento will present his first film in 10 years, and prolific French actress Isabelle Huppert will receive an honorary Golden Bear for career achievement, and we'll know on the 16th of February who will get the Golden Bear after last year's winner, the memorably named bad luck banging or loony porn from Romania.
Okay, now to a film out here in France which explores the real-life relationship between a French literary icon, Marguerite Duras, and her much younger lover. Tell us a bit more about I Want to Talk About Duras.
Well, director Claire Simon has made 16 films, 10 documentaries, and 6 fiction features. And this is a fascinating blend of her skills in both departments. It's a film that assumes that each viewer already knows the basics about French author Marguerite Duras, who was born into a French family in French Indochina in 1914 and died in Paris at age 81. Her style is very distinctive. She wrote the screenplay for Alain René's feature film debut, the instant classic Hiroshima Mon Amour, her autobiographical tome, The Lover, about her obsessional romance at age 15 with a Chinese man, 12 years older, in French Indochina, was made into a film by Jean-Jacques Hano almost 40 years ago. Duras also directed a number of films of her own. It is common knowledge that the final romance in Duras's life was a much younger man, 38 years younger, named Jan Andrea. He started out as a fan of her work, and upon meeting her, he began writing to her constantly. She didn't reply for 5 years, and then she did. He gave up his apartment and his job and basically became subservient to her in every way, especially in the bedroom, from 1980 until Duras's death in 1996, which is doubly interesting because he basically considered himself to be a gay man. The film's French title translates as You Will Desire Me and Me Alone, which conveys the imperious tone of the relationship.
Imperious, a perfect way to describe Marguerite Duras. Well, let's take a look at I Want to Talk About Duras.
Ce que j'ai vécu avec Marguerite, c'est une proposition énorme. Une femme, pour la première fois, s'offrir à moi complètement. C'était un amour complètement total.
Ça, tu vois, je pense qu'il faut le garder.
Je crois que je n'ai jamais fait l'amour avant de la rencontrer. Vous ne désirez que moi.
Now, this movie really is mostly two people in a room talking, which is, of course, the joke definition of a French art film. But every word Jan says is verbatim from taped interviews conducted by magazine reporter and Duras' neighbor, Michel Monceau. In 2016, 2 years after Jan Andrea died, a book was published, the template for this film, whose title translates as I Want to Talk About Duras. And talk he does, frankly as can be. That may not sound exciting, but it is riveting stuff because Swan Arlo and Emmanuel Devos are outstanding.
Okay, well, to another French art house film here, another intense romance, this time between a 70-year-old woman and a much younger man. It's called The Young Lovers, directed by Karine Tardieu, stars Fanny Ardant and Melville Popo. Tell us more.
Well, this is a full-blown melodrama that has stuck with me despite the fact that it's uneven and kind of strange. The story starts in a hospital in Lyon in 2006. Shauna is visiting her best friend who is terminally ill. The attending doctor on the night shift is Pierre. They share hot drinks and conversation. The friend dies. They don't see each other again until 15 years have gone by. Shauna will soon be 71. Pierre is 45, married with 2 children. Pierre falls head over heels for Shauna, who likes him just fine, but doesn't see the point of a relationship unlikely to last all that long given her age. He genuinely does not see her age. He sees her, even though, as his wife exclaims, but she's an old lady.
Okay, well, let's hear from the actors, Fanny Ardant and Melville Popo, about passion and spontaneity.
Bonjour, c'est Pierre.
Bonsoir, Pierre.
Je te vois.
Once you get into the story, you forget all about the age difference. You get drawn into this tale of love at first sight, this love story that can happen at any age.
Maman, t'as rencontré quelqu'un?
Moi, j'étais pas avec mes collègues, Jeanne.
Je peux rien savoir. J'adore l'idée que
I love the idea that it's now or never, that you shouldn't overthink things, because thinking about the future, it kills a romance.
Tuer.
Now, this is not technically a true story like I Want to Talk About Joha, but it is inspired by true events, right?
That's right. Franco-Icelandic filmmaker Solveig Ansbach died in 2015 at age 55 before she had a chance to tell the story of her own mother, who in her late 70s embarked on a romance with a 45-year-old man. Karine Tardieu took on the script. Now, there are walks in the rain, tentative hand-holding, the first blossoming of Are We Going to Kiss or Not? Shauna fights tooth and nail against this. We want them to be together. And Pierre's magnificent sensitivity, the way he's lovesick, none of this should work, but it does. The heart has its reasons. The heart wants what it wants. So there.
Sounds quite romantic. Now, people might have trouble believing that premise. I must say that I have trouble believing the premise of the next film, which is that the moon is about to careen into the Earth. What have you heard about Moonfall, starring Halle Berry?
Well, I've seen the trailer, and I hear the movie is silly fun. Director Roland Emmerich has a pretty good track record for silly but enjoyable spectacles. His nickname is the Master of Disaster. And his movies, which include Stargate, Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, and White House Down, have taken in over $3 billion at the box office. That represents an awful lot of movie tickets. This time, the moon gets knocked out of its orbit. I hate when that happens. A ragtag group of movie stars, people, have to show the moon who's boss or something as a general rule. I'll take the solar system over the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, that's good. Well, Lisa, thank you very much for that roundup this week. We'll leave you with a clip of Moonfall out in France and wherever the Earth spins on its axis. Do remember our website for more arts and culture. We're on social media too. There's more news coming up on France 24 just after this.
What's the plan?
Save the moon, save Earth.
Brian, what are you doing?
Will find itself! Wait for it. Let's go, you son of a...